Okay, so this is CoolAtlas, who's asking for a VOD review on the OverwatchUniversity subreddit. It's this gold Reinhardt. So let's have a look. So defense on Route 66. So May, let's have a quick look. May, Zarya, fantastic. Junkrat, spam damage, Mercy, and Brig. Okay, and this is presumably not PTR Brig, so a little bit less sort of dedicated healing here, but worth keeping in mind. But this is fine. Excellent. So, let's just watch for a little bit. Let's see what happens. And we can watch back in just a second. Okay. So definitely a couple of things straight off here. So there's a couple of places that you can fight on this map for sure. Let's get to a quick point. Okay, so one of them is definitely the train area. So it is possible to fight around these trains and around the payload and try and stall them out here. You'll see there's people doing this quite a lot at the high level. Personally, I'm not a huge fan, especially at a lower level where people might be staggering. But if you want to fight here, that's fine. The big thing for me here is you start back here. Now this is another really good place to fight. This corner here is an amazing place to fight. Absolutely love it. You can control this whole area here with your shield. You can stand here. Your entire team can stand behind you. And you've got these nice long sight lines here, and they have to push around a hard corner into you. This is a really nice place to hold. The thing is that you start here, and you walk forward out of this position to a new position. And a couple of things immediately happen. First things first, you see this sniper. This nice big sniper line here. This means that as a Reinhardt, you're now entirely responsible for basically all of your team, especially as you have nobody to pressure her at all. You don't have another sniper who can just win the duel. You're not playing some sort of competition you can dive on her. So you now need to be shielding. As soon as I would see that sniper, I'd go, right, we're going to play at this corner here instead. We're going to play at this first corner. People can then take this cover because this nice long sight line is now suddenly working against you. You want to use this nice bit of cover all the way over here so that sniper has no chance to hit your team. As soon as your shield goes down, she can take a shot. So I'd definitely be fighting here. Even worse though, you continue walking forwards. The sniper takes a shot, misses. You walk forwards, you get the bubble really early, so it's now you have no defense. You go, you proc their Zarya bubble, and then this sniper jumps immediately up to here. Now has a massive sightline over the top of your shield. Another really good reason to be playing that back corner. Either you notice this, or you decide to sort of come back again. And you've now got a Reinhardt who charges the wrong way. Interestingly, very lucky, but could have got a lot of pressure. You can also got a Reaper side. Yep, so there's a Reaper up in that top corner above you as well, pressuring you, and you're back to that corner. Throughout all of that chaos, there was no real benefit apart from charging the enemy Zarya bubble. And a Fire Strike you can take from back here. The Fire Strike has nigh infinite range and a huge hitbox. So throwing a Fire Strike's great, but you don't need to go forwards to do so. And you've lost your Junkrat, so your damage is now very, very low. So now you can hold the corner. Ooh. I'll let this play for a tiny bit more. You do manage to get the charge. I do like that that was a nice brief charge. You know, charging, whether it was a right decision or not, you charged that far. That's not too bad. You can get back to your team. You're ending up in your team is the important thing. You're not charging off into Narnia and leaving your team without a shield for too long. And importantly, you do manage to get him, and your Mercy reses your Junkrat. You're now in a far stronger position. So here, see where you move. Okay, to the corner, fantastic. So holding this corner is huge. I would probably be holding a few steps further forwards, just so that you're not giving up this contested space. A Reinhardt standing in the middle of this whole area here and controlling this space for free is absolutely fantastic. If you can hold that space, that's great. By standing here, you're giving up a little bit of that corner. So at the moment you can choose whether to move round this way and when to move back round the corner and when to move back again, etc, etc, etc. From here, your only option, you're well hidden, but you're giving yourself a couple of less options. So I'd be moving a couple of steps further forwards. Good idea to look backwards, check on your team, but it's important to remember that you can look behind you without doing so. approach range. I'm sure this is something you do already know, and we're just looking backwards. Checking your team, absolutely, but remember that you can right-click to hold your shield and left-click.
Justice will be done.
And left-click to look behind you at the same time. And you can keep doing what you're doing without having to do anything. So, yeah, it's just a tiny thing. Look around, they get a little bit more space. You've got that sniper on your left again, so you want to be standing definitely in front of your team, who's definitely wanting to push. They've got that little bit of aggression. You killed their Ryan a bit recently, he should be getting back quite soon. But standing in front of them, take that corner when you can, and make sure that Widow doesn't want to be there, because your team is nice and close to her. That's a great wall. You've got a second to put down your shield and recharge it. And take that corner. You have got a Reef behind you, that's very unfortunate. Okay, you should be backing off now, absolutely backing off. Your shield is very little. Oh no! Okay. That may, I think, save your life there. So let's rewind this a tiny bit. So you look around, you look forwards again. You've got a bubble. Take that bubble, swing a couple of times, watch out for that Widow. So either swing or move forwards with your shield, hold it up and hope somebody pressures her. Moving on, you don't get forwards, you manage to get pushed back a little bit. As soon as the May wall goes up, I'd be putting down my shield, walking back towards that corner, and taking that position once again, and just holding that position, letting your shield recharge a little bit, because 500 health is not that nice. So what happens, you move to the left-hand side, and you can hear that Reaper, that Death comes. He's probably above you now. He does manage to get the jump on you. It happens. He gets behind you. You end up turning. Okay, here. Absolutely, I would be jumping backwards as quickly as I can. You're in a bit of a tricky spot here anyway. Sort of limited healing. Hopefully that brig can throw you an armor pack, but your shield is very low because it hasn't had a chance to recharge, and your health is quite low as well. You got two options here. You can either just walk backwards or shield hop backwards, but I would absolutely just be moving backwards, getting out the way, getting a reset. Don't move back forwards again. Absolutely do not charge. You're not in a good position health-wise. But you managed to take this, have a quick look over the top, let your shield recharge. That's good. But you're still not in an amazing position. And let this play for a little bit longer before we go back. Charging definitely seems to be a little bit of a big thing here. Okay, this isn't too bad. You've managed to get through that. Again, it's good that you're just charging short distances. You know, charging just into this wall here is a lot better than the charge previously that would have taken you all the way into this pillar here and just got you absolutely destroyed by their team. Little charge into the wall, it's not a bad thing, but again, there is a Widow. I think she was up here just a minute ago. Having that shield up and protecting your team and being that front line will just stop them being absolutely destroyed. And it's really important with Widow when you've got nobody contesting her. So, your Mercy ults, you walk forwards, you've got a Brig ult on you now, which is excellent. But there is a lot going on right now. I'm going to let this play for 10 seconds to see what happens. So the Widow's got vision. You've got support ults. Good job smacking. You've got a shield. A barrier even. Okay. Let's stop there for a moment. That was a lot of support ults and a lot of chaos, and it can be definitely tricky. But there's a couple of little positions. So you want to take the space, right? You can tell by the fact you charged in, you wanted to take that space. You smack him up a little bit. Ryan messes up his charge, which is huge. And you are now in a far better situation than you were earlier. You've got a full 500 health. You've got a full 2,000 shield. You've got a Brig who's just hit rally up. So you can be moving forwards now. Absolutely. You've got a Zarya right next to you. You can totally be moving forwards. Take this space and use the payload. You know, use the payload for cover. You've got that advantage. You know, if this payload is covering the entirety of this point, you can either use this corner and shield yourself on that side. You can use this cover over here, and you can jump between these two positions. You need to be a little bit careful with the Widow, but hopefully your team will be playing nice and close to the side, so they can sort of use the line of sight instead. And you can absolutely be pressuring their team. You can be moving forwards using these corners. Instead, you end up a little bit in the middle of no man's land. The Lucio boop is unfortunate, but you do manage to get forwards, but it gives them that little bit of space. The ults go off, they coalescence, and it turns into a massive, absolute massive problem here. Given this situation, I probably would have held forwards, in my personal opinion. Or, if you're able to get your team to absolutely pull back, but with them having a Lucio and you not, they will just chase you down. I'd use your support ults, hopefully try and block the shield, and oh, you've got your shatter in return. Okay. I probably wouldn't have shattered immediately in this situation, but I think I can understand why you did. So you start smacking. Unfortunately get pushed back. The Rein shatters a couple of your teammates. That's huge. I honestly don't mind the charge here. They're focusing on them. You can push the team back into that cart and take a little bit more of that space. You have managed to get shatter. Let's see, would I shatter here? Actually not too bad, I'd say. You know, their Rein is probably going to go swinging. Unfortunately, they have got the Lucio ult, but this could be the sort of clutch shatter that can really get your team back on them. Unfortunately, the Rein charges through. You manage to get to the Moira. No, who booped the Moira? I think it was the Brig booped the Moira. That's so unfortunate. And she's got Fade. She's out. Interesting Mei ult. Okay, this Reinhardt would probably die to the Mei. I think you've got better things to be doing on the front line. I like that you get behind him and charge him into your team. The boop's unfortunate. Oh no, you don't get the pin. Do you manage to finish him off? Yes, you do. Now, immediately start shielding. Very good. Shield, move back, get back into that position. Use the payload, use the cover you've got. Perfect. Use the shield, use the wall, keep on moving backwards. You've got the bubble. Oh, that's so unfortunate. So you had the bubble for a little bit. If you wanted to fire strike, you do have the fire strike with the bubble and take it. That Widow is pressuring. So you could take the fire strike, keep moving back, or take the fire strike and move forwards. I would say in this situation, move backwards. I don't think your Mercy's here. So your healing is not good. And moving back, and your Brig's down as well. You absolutely need to be retreating. Full on retreating. And if you want to fire strike, do it with the barrier as well, considering you're not shielding from the Widow anyway. But yeah, fire striking here when you're on 100 health is not good. And you get killed. It happens. That was chaotic. But hopefully, I think the big important things there were using the space when you have the sort of support to move forwards, using this cover here, sort of controlling either this space with your shield or this space with your shield. And you can do that without even moving. That's not something that you need to move from left to right to be able to do. If you're taking two sides of a pillar, you can take both sides without moving. You can hold this side, you can hold this side. And it's not going to take particularly much movement. You don't have to be jumping into the open. But still, chaotic fight absolutely happens. Let's move on and see what happens next. So, the big question now is, do we contest, do we not contest? It looks like there's three of you there, and it's, what, Brig, Zarya, did I see Mei, I think? So this is now, yeah, so you've got no Junkrat and you've got no Mercy, so this is now an incredibly defensive situation. You don't have your main source of damage, you don't have your main source of healing. If you're going to try and stall this, you need to take a position, use your defensive cooldowns between you, your two shields, your two Zarya bubbles and your Mei walls to try and hold this position. So this is where corners become even more important. I like that you're holding this corner. Unfortunate Lucio boop. Again, I'd be preferred to be a little bit further forward so that you're protecting a little bit better. The Lucio boop was quite nice. Now what happens? Okay, moving around the side. Now your team is entirely without a shield for this point. So at this point, I would not be moving high ground. I'd be moving down here. Get in between you and your team. Take those hits. It's probably the case that you're going to die. But if you're going to die, help your team to survive a little bit longer as well. This is a stalled position. It was 4v6. It happens. Again, the charge, not a huge fan. You do grab, but your Mei goes down. That's unfortunate. I like the fire strike, but maybe just take a few steps back. I can see you trying to go for the Zarya. If you take 2 steps to the left, then you can hide just behind the payload here. You can fire strike across the top of the payload with a jump. You can still get all, I think there's 4 of them in there with the fire strike, but you don't end up in melee range and you have some cover, and it just gives you that little bit more time. As it happens, you get the fire strike, it's really nice. You've nearly got another charge, another hammer stun even. You do manage to get beat drop out of them, which is great. And your Zarya is still contesting. I think this should probably be it. So I'd be surprised if you could hold it from here. unfortunate not being able to swerve around that little rock. Okay, so big Ryan hammer. This is probably it now. If I was you, I think I can see what's going to happen. I would not use the hammer stun here. Especially as, no, your Mercy's just gone down as well. And your May's gone down. That's unfortunate. And they managed to push. Bit of a wasted hammer stun. That fight was pretty much lost. You know, save it, use it for the next one. All in all, I'd say a bit more use of corners for this fight. Definitely. You know, use this cover for the payload, use that protection, make sure you've got enough shield there and that you're at the front of your team that their Widow can't harass you quite so hard. And at times when they're giving you space, like on this first corner, where's it gone? Here, take that space, you know, hold yourself, you know, nice and close, hold yourself on this corner here, and you can shield all the way around here, and then you can just drop back behind the corner when you need to, or you can drop back further, or you can drop all the way into the garage. There's a lot that you can do from that position. Being just behind the corner can quite easily have them all rotate round quite easily. They can rotate round, their backline can rotate round here, their sniper can start taking positions like up there, and then that can get quite messy quite quickly. So take the space they give you, use those corners, and yeah, watch out for making sure that you're just in front of your team in that situation. Where were we? We were not there. Okay. So I think this is probably first fight. Yeah, so you've managed to push back your team. You've gone for a monkey. Interesting. I like the monkey pick. It's going to give their sniper a bit more harassment. It's now not entirely on you to protect your team. But still watch out for her. And we're going to start contesting. Monkey's going around right side. I think you've got a Brig with you. Take the fire strike. Again, these are fantastic corners. Depending on where you want to hold, or where you're able to hold. There's lots of corners here. This is the obvious one in this situation. This one right here. You can hold a lot of this space just from holding that corner. And instead of this sniper having sort of views to the left and to the right of your shield, your team can take all of this cover on the right-hand side and just stand behind you. And then that gets a lot safer for your team. Again, it's minimizing the chance that it's literally just you drop your shield and your team dies. But you can see she's just taking pot shots along this side where it's not quite covered. And if and probably when this Zarya decides to push you, you are out in the open. You've got no corners to walk around and she can just shred you. Lucio gets the boop. Again, I'd be definitely moving to the right here. Okay, May ult buys you a bit of time. Fire strike at the sniper's okay. Charge is definitely not. You don't want to be going and charging that sniper right now. You need to be there for your team. Not only are you putting yourself in the middle of their team, but your team now has no Reinhardt. They have no Reinhardt shield. They have no gigantic Reinhardt hammer to ward off the other team. And the enemy team should just collapse on you now. Oh, that May. Your May is clutch. Yep, run away. Okay. I like the running away. It's a tiny little tech. As you see, you've got lots of shield health and not much real health, but you do have some. One of the things that you're able to do is you can shield hop. So instead of walking back and hard shielding and being worried like this, you can instead jump, shield, jump, shield, jump, shield, jump, shield. You don't get the reduction from your shield when you're in the air, so jump, shield when you're in the air, don't shield when you're on the ground, and then you can take some of that damage in your team. Your Mercy is on you, so you can where have I gone? You can take that time to shield hop backwards. It'll get you back a lot faster and you won't be in danger for as long. Yeah, push back is a nice move from the Lucio. That Zarya is going to hit you. I don't know where that Rein came from. If you countercharge that deliberately, that's a huge play. Otherwise, if you would try to charge into him again, I do not know. Yeah, so I did hear him charge. If that was a deliberate countercharge, that was great. They solo grab you totally unnecessarily. Good getting their grab out. But in general there, I wouldn't have gone over in this area at all. Stay in this corner here. This nice big corner at the side. Use this space. From the position that you're currently in, you're controlling, this space here. You don't have anything in front of you at all. And you personally don't have this space over here even. And it's in a Widow start line. This is Widow's space right now. As is the space over here. The only benefit you have from standing here as opposed to on this corner is this bit of space. You could still control all of this space absolutely fine, and your team would be safe in it. So I think that's the big thing from this fight. Stay, hold your ground on that corner, allow your team to help you out, and for you to help them. All happens. Long walk back as ever. Okay. Again, another unfortunate situation where your Mercy has died and your Monkey has died. So if you're pushing into here... hello, Reaper. This is going to be tricky. Your Monkey's gone Zarya. Yep, good choice. I like not pushing out there. Definitely the right decision in that case. Are you going to try and stall anyway? Okay. Have a look where your team is. Some of them are ready to push out. I would give it 2 seconds if you could here. And then if you want to stall, go straight for card. So, they do see you. The Ryan messes up his charge. You try and get onto cart. Okay, getting onto cart is definitely the right decision. If you're going to stall, stall. You do manage to get down the Zarya with the help of your Hanzo. That's good. Coalescence and a Reaper, you're not going to survive against it. Once the decision was made to stall, I don't mind how that was played. I don't think that was too bad. Okay, checkpoint. Where are we going to hold in third? There are some beautiful places for Ryan to hold in here, or Orisa or anyone else. So I'm going to have a quick look. You can give it a peek, definitely. If you're peeking, I would stay quite close to the left, and I would definitely hope you now move left again. Take the fire strike, that's fine. But yep, move back a little bit. Remember, you can look behind you by holding left click. Okay. There's a little tiny thing here, which is just the fact, I'm going to rewind 5 seconds, that again, you are, right in the middle. You do move a bit further to the right here. You find yourself drifting over in this direction a tiny bit. I would probably stay so your shield is clipping this wall here. Just clipping it ever so slightly. You don't want to move too far out this direction because there's a couple of good corners to hold. The first one is this one right here. You correctly decided not to stay there. If you'd stayed there, you would have absolutely died. It's a great corner, but that's their space now, and that you couldn't have held it against them. So the next good place to hold is back one corner. There's another corner here with the little doorway just to the left of it. This is the corner that you want to move back to. Moving over this way leaves you in a world of hurt. I wouldn't want to go this way. I'd want to stay closer to that left wall, keep that angle nice and narrow so they don't have lots of view on you here, and just stay a little bit closer to the left here. Okay, you've got hammer started. Oh, you're going straight. How did that hit them? I've got to watch that again. Oh, they're so unlucky. That lingering hammer stun there. So unlucky. I wouldn't have thought that would have hit, but it did. Grid fire strike, terrible charge. No. Look at where their Widow has, as far apart from the fact that you would then be immediately directly within the center of their team and they'll collapse on you and kill them. This sight line needs your help. You don't have a Monkey anymore. You've got a Zarya. This sight line is just pot shots for the Widow. They need you. By hammer stunning here and managing to hit them, which is incredible, I absolutely would come to the corner and take the fire strike. No question. And look at that ult charge. A couple more fire strike ult charge. Great. But now you've taken this corner from them. If you think you can hold this position, you've now got that corner. And that's a huge advantage. Hold it. Take that space from them. You don't take that space by moving. That Widow is right in that space looking down at you. And by going in and getting pressured so hard, you had to drop back. And again, you found yourself not dropping to the left, which is actually closer to you, but you're dropping to the right. Now the hammer swing doesn't help you. They get the hammer stun. They're going to kill you. Oh, your Hanzo ults. I don't mind that ult from Hanzo, but that's not what we were viewing. Oh no, the charge. Okay, again, hold the space. Your team needs you here to be holding that space. Last you saw, there was a Widow watching from here all the way down into your team. Disgusting sightlines. You need to be here for your team. Hold this corner on the left and just stay here. Take your fire strikes when you want them. Let them push into you. Let your team do the damage and wait for, your Sombra to do something. Let your Hanzo have that space to take fire in the same way that their Widow has space to take fire. You get the charge, you do hit him, which is good, but now you're in the middle of their team. He has got a Moira on him, and there's no way you're going to kill him, and you're down. In the meantime, the team gets ulted by a Reaper. Unfortunate. For this one, just as a brief reiteration, take the space, hold close to the corners so you've got somewhere to stay, and allow your team to make those plays for you. Okay, moving onwards. They are now in a lot of space. It's you and a Brig. You've got a tiny bit of time. You need to not die. Right now, if you die, this game is over. They've just ulted, you need to be defensive. Good counter charge. There's the EMP. This is your moment. Now you need to be moving forwards. You've got Coalescence, you've got EMP. How did he hit that? Oh no, that was you! I thought that was him. Okay. I don't mind this. It's a desperate moment. It happens. Probably not necessary given their position. You know, that Ryan was about to die anyway. One more swing with the Coalescence on him. The Lucio on point isn't a huge issue for you. You can just swing your hammer around in circles. But I can understand why it was done. Good charge. This is fine. You're just cleaning up kills now, so that charge is fine. Where did that Reaper just teleport? No, I think he ran away. Okay. Where are we going to hold? This is wide open. This is the third corner here. The one that we're next to here. You saw the first one all the way up, basically where that Ryan's standing. The second one to retreat to is here. It's this corner here. And you can hold this corner, and you can hold basically all this space with your shield. Basically all of it from that corner. If you get pushed out of there, which I can understand you being worried about back caps and that sort of thing, if you wanted to hold a bit further back, or if you get forced away from there, you fall from this corner to here. Yeah, this is a nice, another nice corner. It's why this left side is so strong. You've got this sort of almost leapfrog ability to just move backwards in stages. So, I would be holding by that corner, personally, or even by the one in front of it, if you thought you could, which I think you probably could. Take the Fire Strike. Nice. Hold that corner and hold your shield up. I know they've now got a Doomfist, but as you haven't pressed tab, you should be presuming that they still have a window. I like the use of some of the terrain, but you're drifting to the right again. Perfect. Look at that space right there. Look at that perfect Reinhardt-shaped space. Beautiful. You've got the cover on the left. You can rotate round to the right, which you're about to do. You've got the payload covering you. I like this position. Doomfist punches you, which he does. That happens. Keep your shield up. Watch where the Rhine is. I think you were off the ground, so I don't think you could have blocked that anyway. I know you charging back. I like that it's back into your team. But I don't know if that was the right decision. Doomfist punches you. Doomfist is always going to be a nightmare. Everything got a little bit chaotic. As soon as you turned and you charged... Let's see. Here. As soon as you turn around and charge that Rhine, you didn't even look and see who was there. That was just a charge. It's a long charge, and this is the rest of this fight, really, that your team doesn't have the presence of a Reinhardt in there. And bear in mind that Moira and Lucio are both close-range healers, and Brig as well. All of your supports. You've got triple support, and you could absolutely hold and stay right in the middle there. As it is, you don't get back, the Doomfist farms you, and your team is without a Reinhardt for this entire time. Doomfist might farm you, but being able to use the payload and jump around it a little bit will at least help you with the charges, you know, even if not the uppercuts so much. And I presume at this point people are going to get a little bit staggered unless you can get a kill. Trade Brig for Reaper. Okay, you've got reinforcements. I don't mind that charge, it's going towards the payload. He countercharges. Good shielding of the Doomfist ult. But yeah, lots of things that go through shields. It's a stagger phase. I think the big thing there that really twisted that fight in the wrong direction was A, the grab shatter combo, and they grabbed you off of the floor, so you couldn't even block the shatter, even if you know, the greatest Reinhardt in the world couldn't block that shatter. But I think moving away, I know you're on low health here, but moving away from the fight in this situation I don't think is a good decision. And I think that's it in general. So, they managed to push it, and that is the end of that round. Okay, I think that is a pretty good place to stop. My biggest things from this would be, firstly, charges. Way too much charging. A couple of them were good. You know, a couple of the charges in the right places were good, especially the short ones. But not only do you put yourself in bad situations sometimes when you're charging, your team losing their shield and their presence of a Reinhardt with a giant fuck-off hammer for that long is, you know, just not good. Especially with the amount of support you had there at the end. And the other big thing is using those corners. You know, use that terrain, find those places, and use them to be able to move forwards when you want to and when you have that ability to, and then move backwards into cover. Don't find yourself tempted to move out away from these corners into the open, where, you know, your shield here is no more effective than your shield here. And if you get hit when you've already moved out here, there's nowhere to go. Yeah, there's nowhere to go from here. Whereas from here, you can just move gently back around the corner. You can move back around behind payload. You've got options. And if you need to, you can move forwards, you know, up to the next corner. So those would be the two big things, charges and corners, that I think I'd really look at. So yeah, I hope that was at least somewhat helpful. And best of luck.